Ignore the commoners outside, dear.
What's up, my friends? It is I, Animanga, and I am back. Here we go. The intro to the private party. So let's start with Serenity's 5 this time. We'll start with Serenity Spider Monkey. Prue, Giselle Beck, and her dual spirit, Black Sorceress Prue, arrive at the party, looking to look down on the rich folk gathered there. No one is richer or more powerful than Giselle Beck and Prue, the social snobby middle schooler brays. They haven't begun their world domination schemes here yet, but can't resist putting even the rich down. Dang. Ruthless. Their ruthlessness is truly on a league of its own. Serenity Wheeler. Not to be confused with Serenity Spider Monkey. Serenity Wheeler arrives on a whim, just looking to enjoy herself. She's a bit nervous around all these rich people, though. Wynn tells her to relax and have fun. Mayumi and Falcon promise to protect her if things go pear-shaped. I've never heard it worded like that. Interesting. Mostly just mingling with Casey and Lexi when not dueling, or helping Mayumi get noticed by Joey. Aww. Martine Kawai and the Nakamura sisters arrive with Casey, Lexi, Jamie, Chaco Kid, and TK. Martine is eager to mingle with rich folks and put her DJ skills to good use. Okay. Yuma Nakamura. Yuma wants to find a boyfriend, but is a little too awkward and pushy in her attempts to interact with guys. Embarrassing Jeannie. I've always messed it up. I always say Jenny. Janae is Jeannie. I know, I've been corrected on it multiple times. She recognizes Serenity and her friends and wants to have fun with them. Her height makes everything super awkward. And Ryan Nakamura to round out her 5. Jeannie is hoping to impress Casey with a lot of people have started calling Mighty Casey the Zombie Slayer recently, and plans to steal the attention at the party and make sure her favorite athlete only has eyes for her. Jamie thinks it's a bad idea but tries to support Jeannie anyway without making Casey uncomfortable. Confides in Serenity her feelings for Casey, who tells her to loosen up. Casey will like her for her. That sounds like Casey. That sounds like one of our main characters there. And now we get to Jamie Gems 5. Hold on, let me get a drink of water. Of course, as you can see on your screen, I had to show this guy first. Justice. Justice was invited to the party by Cash. Now Justice would normally be fine with this, but after finding out how bad of a person he can be from Helena, he called her, asking if she would hand over her invitations to her brothers, so they could hand over her invitations to his brothers, probably, so they could cause some trouble. Yeah, that must have been what I meant. Yeah, sorry. He also brought along another troublemaker, just in case there weren't enough. Now, all Justice has got to do is sit back, kingly, and surprised when chaos breaks out. Of course, he is the king, but he has a challenger, as you'll see in this tournament. Ryan. Not Ryan Nakamura, but Ryan, Justice's bro. Ryan was given an invitation to a party he didn't understand exactly why, till Helena explained that he was going to get to have some fun pranking a lot of sucky people. He happily accepted the invitation, and even got a second one to hand to his brother Jared. He has been training with Helena and has even made a new deck. Can't wait to see it. Jared, too. Jared has been doing some exploring in the spirit realm, but when Zero Reverse happened, it opened a time rift in the spirit realm, which Jared fell into. Because remember, at the end of Duel Monsters, the spirit realm and our realm combined. They were one in GX, but now there's a huge rift because Zero Reverse event that happened. We'll get into way more into that later. We're not fleshing that out right now. We can't do it in one tournament. as you can understand. When he landed into the rift, he found weird versions of old and new cards, so he collected them, but he felt uneasy about them. Then again, who cares? These cards are cool, he thought. When he left the spirit realm, he was met by Ryan and given an invitation to a party where he gets to have fun. He happily accepted as he smirks. No, I just added that last part myself. You Bell. Didn't I put You Bell in here? You Bell. Here is some backstory to how she joined. Okay. You Bell. I was just reading part of his stuff at the beginning. After graduation, Justice went into the woods alone and entered a cave where he found Ubel. He said if that Ubel truly cared about him, that Ubel would join him in helping him revive his mom. So she did help him. Justice now brought Ubel to the party as his +1. Is no one going to freak out about this crap? They see Ubel, they're going to run. If they hear Ubel, they're going to scream. She's creepy any way you slice it. She's creepy talking, creepy looking. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Bring a little chaos to the party. Yeah, she's already done that by showing up. Justice also made a deck for Ubel and gave her a card that he likes to use. Chad Richmond, and I can't help but like this because this is a Card 5 Vanguard character. Chad Richmond was personally invited to the party, seeing as he is a famous movie star and very, very well rich. But what most people don't know is that he is secretly working for Sayer. That's right, the guy that Justice beat up who was a reporter. He is his #1 disciple because obviously in this lore and in the anime lore, he's a cult leader, the psychic cult leader. He likes to act humble and very kind. That he uses this to lure people with psychic abilities to him. Then he treats them like crap. The real reason he even came was to scout the party for people with psychic abilities and to watch Justice after finding out that he beat Sayer while he was doing his side job reporting. I'm sorry, I spit out a bunch of stuff there. That was funny. While he was doing his little side gig. I needed the money for the cult, okay? He is having a hard time focusing because he keeps getting pranked. I wonder by who. Now we're on to Mitchell's 5. President William Uriel. The United States President was invited to a party in Neo Domino City. Well, anyway, however, this party is happening on his son Michael's birthday. Oh, right, because at this time it was around the time it was Mitchell's birthday. So he just happens to be hosting his son's birthday, right? And we're hosting this huge gala at the same time. But since he's the president, I mean, this world's already messed up as it is. It doesn't really matter if he's the U.S. president or not. He's just an important figure. Because is the U.S. even in existence now? Or are they so broken up like the rest of the world, like Japan and the rest, that he's just of an important figure? Anyway. However, this party is happening on his son Michael's birthday. William decides to do both parties today, one after the other. He is also suspicious of Cash and the buddies Cash has at the party. Well, he should be. Cash is very shady. So he has people spying on Cash while he celebrates with Michael. He also has a new deck full of cowboys. Cowboy, baby. Well, I'm going to tell you, a lot of those cowboys can't come out to lasso today, partner. Because we nerfed a lot of those guys. Yeah, I tested that myself. That was a broken deck. I tested it long before I started What If series. Sorry. I need a drink of water. Michael Uriel. He and Alice came with their parents, President William and First Lady Meredith, to a big party in Neo Domino City. It is also Michael's birthday, and the Uriels have a birthday celebration planned for after Cash's party. Michael doesn't trust this Cash fellow, so Alice and a few others are keeping tabs on him. Michael has upgraded his BLS deck with synchros. Well, about to say you may as well upgrade. It's the synchro era. Heck yeah, way of the future, baby. Andre Breeze. Being one of the top fashion designers in the world, Andre naturally got an invite to Cash's party. He, Marinette, and Manon are also attending Michael's birthday celebration afterward. So it's after. Okay, so it's not the same time. I gotcha. Manon and Alice are spying on Cash at regular intervals. Ooh, excuse me, I'm tired. As the first family is suspicious of him. And Andre doesn't know if Cash has ulterior motives for this party or not. But he is concerned. Callista Credence, haven't seen her in a while. Naturally, the head honcho of Soulhauser Incorporated got invited to the big party. She is the boss of some of the world's greatest scientists and figures Cash may want some of them to help the royal family, though she doesn't want to let Doof go anywhere near Justice's castle, as she's afraid he might try to clone Justice and use his clone to usurp the throne. Or, take over the throne. But, yeah, after what Doof freaking did in the Soulhauser lab, we don't want him anywhere near anyone. So, that was some good water. Okay. Soulhauser recently gained 2 new employees, and Lila Moon, who came to work alongside her brother, and Bastion Misawa. Bastion came to Soulhauser with Dr. Ben Doof after the Academy's graduation tournament, though he's beginning to have his doubts about working with Doof. Perry Moon and Lila Moon are at the party with Callista, since Perry acts as her bodyguard, and the Moon siblings are also helping spy on Cash. Now this is the new character, Belle Papillion, a famous actress who is the mother of Katie Papillion and wife of Adam Papillion, the Wolfman. The Wolfman has a butterfly daughter and is also related to the Breezes. Plural, Breezes. This party marks the first time in a while that she and her brother, Andre Breeze, have seen each other in person. Since she's been very busy in Hollywood, Adam and Katie are at the party with her, but Katie is hanging out with Agatha and Shikanoko Preakness in the background, while Adam, in his regular human form, not wolf form, is conversing with the Breezes and Uriels. Belle uses a deck full of birds. Oh, sorry, Bird Girl. Alright, now we're on, since we're done with Mitchell Slaughter's 5, we're on to Lego Man's 5. Alexandra. Alexandra has noticed her ex-husband trying to hang around Justice and use the death of Victoria as a way of manipulating him, and because of that, decided to stick around this group in order to try to interfere with his plans. Even after their divorce and donating a chunk of her wealth to children who are left orphaned by Zero Reverse, Alexandra was still wealthy enough to receive an invite to this party. She isn't sure whether Cash has some sort of plan involving that, or if he forgot to take her off the invite list. It's probably the second. He's just so rich and important he didn't have time to do everything. Even Xing out his ex-wife. Excuse me. Water went down the wrong pipe. Okay. Where am I? Oh, yes, here we go. Probably the latter. Yeah, he even says probably the latter. Forgot to take her off the invite list, if she had to guess. Before the party, Helena sent her over a few extra cards she had gotten copies of herself. So, she's hoping to use them to make her dueling skills better in order to get in Cash's way. Now we get to Cash. And Lego has a whole bunch of new characters here. Cash, the main man of the tournament, the father of Helena and the ex-husband of Alexandra, after she had discovered he was cheating on her with his secretary, you scum. He had been a royal advisor to Queen Victoria before her death. However, in reality, his influence was more so him using his large amounts of wealth and money to help fund and get supported for her projects with his charisma and influence over the other wealthy families in the area. That sentence was a mouthful. Without Victoria's knowledge, however, these families had formed a secret society under Cash's leadership, known as the Collective. Now that Victoria is gone, he's trying to use Justice's vulnerable state to remove him from this throne, so he and his business partners can rule over the nation themselves. Mostly him, of course. Mostly him. He started this party as a cover he could use to get on the good sides of other wealthy people whose businesses survived zero reverse. And let me tell you, there were not many of them. One of the few, however, I will get to later, that survived. Amanda Fox, I think is her. Amanda Fox, the mother of the 4 Fox siblings. Oh my gosh. This is her, the mom of the Foxes, along with being the head of the wealthy Fox Corporation. Well, this is one that survived, one business. Recently, before Zero Reverse, they aligned themselves with Cash. He made Amanda and her husband Roger an offer, one that would put them in a position to gain major political power over the entire nation, also skyrocketing their profits even further beyond what they are currently as a bonus. I need to word correctly today. All they have to do is help him become the new king and overthrow justice. It's a mercy, really. After all, that poor boy is too young to have so much pressure on his plate. I read that like such a scumbag. I feel dirty. I want to shower after that. I don't even want to finish this. I want to go take a shower. It's better for everyone if more experienced business people like us get to be in charge, don't you think? The Foxes agreed to these terms. And in order to give Cash an adequate assistant in his plans, Amanda sent her newly returned eldest child, Celia, to assist him, no matter how mopey and stubborn she may act about it. Now, this is my new favorite guy from Lego, at least. Callaghan Sinclair, the head of the Sinclair family and CEO of his own textile company, experiencing his daughter Callie becoming dangerously ill, made him put all the resources he could into helping treat her illness, nearly driving his company into bankruptcy, in addition to all the money he had to spend rebuilding after Zero Reverse. However, the Collective covered him for this and helped him to pay off his debt in exchange for working with them to overthrow the king, aka Justice. Callaghan has little care for politics, but he knows he is in no position to make demands. He looks tired after needing to be bailed out like that, so is keeping his mouth shut. Keep those lips zipped, Callaghan. That is a rich boy name if I ever heard one. So he's keeping his mouth shut and going along with their plans, including coming to this party with his wife. He must be so disgusted, dude. You got the perfect avatar for this guy. Their daughter is still recovering from her illness, so she wasn't able to make it. I feel bad for him. This girl looks like a Cardfight Vanguard avatar. She just looks like a Cardfight Vanguard avatar to me. I don't know why. She looks like the Grand Blue archetype. She looks like she'd be part of the Grand Blue archetype, don't you think? From Cardfight Vanguard. Francesca Rivera. Oh, the older sister to Clara. Cousin of Truly. My man, Truly Rivera. So this is his cousin, huh? Oh, no. Sorry. This is the older sister to Clara, who is the cousin to Truly. That's right, because I remember that. And Clara was a beast, too. The whole family's great, so she'll be good. And the new head of the Rivera family. She is aware of the other members within the Rivera family that backed out of the family business. Well, Zero Reverse will do that to people, you know? And sees them as failures. She formed a deal with the Collective behind her and Clara's parents' backs, and used that to purchase the majority of their company's stocks under their noses in order to take control of it. Now she plans to keep her end of the bargain by helping to get rid of the king. She's been seen glaring at those attending the party that are associated with Justice, or the rest of the royal family, as if considering challenging them at this very second. Now, we finished Legos 5. Now we're on to Nightrowd's 5. Christopher Shadow. Chris is not sure why he has got an invite to a snooty rich people party, but after Justice asked him to come with him anyway and bring Spike and his friends to the party, Chris suspects Justice wanted him to come because of Chris's tendency of having wacky shenanigans ensue wherever he goes. And Justice wants to use that to muck up snooty rich people's party. Chris doesn't mind. Meh. Since, this lets him investigate some strange sightings, but also gives him a way to provide Spike a chance to go on a date with his gals and his other friends, too. Spike the Dragon. Spike is hopefully... What? That doesn't make sense. Spike is hopefully he and his friends. Oh, Spike is hoping he and his friends... Okay. Can see some strange sightings. But also... No, this doesn't make... How about we just say Spike and his friends hope to see some strange sightings. Also want to find a way to help his world while they are helping Justice's group. But since Chris is going to bring him and his friends to some snooty rich people party, Spike thinks Justice wanted their wacky shenanigans to wreck it up. He understands why due to knowing how Justice feels, since Spike remembers dealing with snooty, aggravating nobles at Canterlot in his world. At least Spike can use this to have fun with his dating gals, which now includes Gabby. Hopefully having fun can help him focusing and dueling better. Mal Tasuki. You got a new deck this time. Refreshing water. Agua. The source of life. Mal's been wanting to test out a new deck more than he might or might not have used in a certain GX flashback tournament. He's pretty frustrated that Master Duel's AI nice way to break the fourth wall. He's pretty frustrated that Master Duel's AI just refuses to use dry tons properly. But at least he will get the chance to test it by coming to a rich, snooty people party that he knows Justice insisted on coming to wreck it up. With the chaos often following Chris and the gang, this will be natural to them. That and casually bringing a chainsaw out. This is also a chance in investigating some weird sightings. By the way, he notices in a manga mentioning his characters are keeping an eye on him. Well, time to T-pose at them then. Lol. That's right, I am keeping an eye on you. You better watch yourself and behave. I'm warning you. Smolder. Smolder is quite liking the idea of going to some party, even if it's a snooty rich people party. Since it's another outing/date to have with Spike and the other gals, which is Ocelus, and now including Gabby, along with helping Spike take his mind off of certain events, but also an excuse in wearing a cute dress. Lol. After Spike's duel with Rosaria, and later her own duel with Rosaria, along with witnessing this new summoning method, and Spike's strange new dragon, Smolder got fired up, and also wanted to try out some new cards she got. While her other friends are goofing around in the party, in the background, Ocelus and Gabby are cheering on. Let's see if Smolder cooked with this new deck of hers. Of theirs. And the one new character from Nightrowd. Oh, there's Prue, by the way. Here's the new Prue pick. There it is. Octavia Gautier. I want to say Gautier, which was a singer who had one hit. but Octavia Gotia, a rather gothic-looking owl gal that was the strange sightings Chris was looking into. In fact, he bumped into her at Justice's castle, but she vanished before he could speak to her. What was she doing there? She now appears at the party Cash is throwing, more like lurking and being grumpy about the annoying rich people. What's concerning is one can feel some sort of demonic power from her, but also another power that is something familiar. Uh-oh. Using a strange dual disc, she might disrupt things to have fun. Just what is she up to? I don't know. But now we get to my 5. Hee hee. Okay. Odeon and Ishizu return. That's right. Odeon Ishtar and Ishizu Ishtar. You may remember them from a grand total of 1 tournament I had them in. Remember? I think it was the Dark Side of Dimensions tournament. They were invited here to be made fun of as entertainment. However, they came here of their own accord, and they are really here to find an infamous scientist that ruined their happy life. Who could it be? And will these rich people even help them out? Also, they are immediately laughed at upon arrival due to they are considered very old school at this point. They are seen dueling and losing very much, until Ishizu is upgraded her deck by trading with other rich people at the party. Now, Odeon doesn't really do much with his deck. He has faith in his deck, but Ishizu says, Odeon, if we're going to have a chance, you must have faith in me. And she starts trading with other duelists, like Joey tried to trade in Duelist Kingdom boat on the boat. So there we go. Those are my first 2. Next is SOB, you better believe. We're gonna have another Vanguard character in here. Shoma Shinonome is the face claim. SOB. Only gat in this private party because he blackmailed a wealthy patient of his to gain entry. It was all too easy. Licking his lips now, with the thought of messing with these pompous buffoons' minds. Oh, what joy to be had. Yeah, this guy is completely off his rocker, just the way I like it. That's the 3rd character. 4th for me is, and technically SOB is the only real OC that I've made that is in this. The rest are, anime characters, unless you want to count who's next. Lord Kaiba X. That's right, Lord Kaiba X now. Immediately after the last graduating class left, the Academy in Zero Reverse happened. The former Lord of Duel Monsters was killed in the explosion, letting Emo Kaiba run for office and be successful. Now, not only does he run still one of the most successful, if not the most successful company in the world, Kaiba Corp, but he also governs the whole body of dueling around the globe, or what's left of it. Of course, it wasn't won by fairness, as many of his rivals had accidents before the vote was tallied. He, of course, is invited to the party with arms wide open. Sorry, I couldn't resist. He is, of course, invited to the party with arms wide open. Heard about his former student Justice appearing at the party and is interested in dueling him with his brand new synchros he bought for a measly $50 trillion. That's right. Inflation's gone crazy in Neo Domino. It's gone wild. And guess what? I own all of it. Not you, Justice. No, I'm just kidding. Justice owns probably more than him, but they're about around even, I would say, around this time, because he's amassed a lot of wealth. And, him and Cash probably doing some back-end shady deals. Next up, and last character from my group, Maximilian Pegasus. His son, being the current king of games, aka Master of Faster, that was mentioned before, were too busy to make it tonight. However, he is there in his son's stead, or in his place. So proud, his son made his first contract signing with Cash, of all people, right before the party. Now, Pegasus is here to keep the royal family's reputation as the creators of the game, or the creator family of the game. You're the first family of the game, really. So, and if you don't like that for cash, they don't have to be connected, Lego. It's fine. I could just say it with Kybax, but if you're fine with that, it's okay. It would be more interesting to be connected, with another person's character. So that is our 30 duelists for this tournament, guys. I hope you enjoyed Private Party. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. The channel's name's Animanga. I shall see you for the tournament. Bye, guys.